are won by a simple majority. So those ones, even you can have somebody with 100 votes, and the person with 101 votes will win. The presidential election we have is not the same. It's different. You require, first of all, to win 50% plus one of the vote. So even if you are 100 candidates, one of you must be powerful enough to acquire more than one half of the votes. Otherwise, there will be a runoff between the first and the second. So the number of candidates is irrelevant. And now, to achieve that, you require to have this election also acquiring a certain threshold, which is at least a majority in 24 constituencies, in 24 counties. So with that kind of election, then you find that the requirement in that election is that because every vote counts, and you need 50%, that's the block, plus one vote.
Yes.
And any vote counts. So the election is designed in such a way that the votes are counted at the polling station, and the results are announced. Then the returning officer at the constituency level collects and announces the results by the constituency. So for the presidential, we need 290 results certificates announced at the constituency. Then from there is nothing like a presidential returning officer, which they have created in the regulations. That's unconstitutional. There's only a returning officer at the constituency who conducts the election of president in the constituency, because the law says that where more than one candidate is cleared for president, to vie for president, an election shall take place in each constituency. So the returning officer in the constituency is the presidential returning officer. And that's why he announces the results. After that, what is left is just a declaration, which even you in the media should be able to declare upon receiving all the 290 results. You do your maths and say this thing has either gone, it has not gone, there will be a runoff or something like that.
And Senator, you have quite elaborated the process, which is constitutionally provided. Is that the process that you think its implementation to a free and fair election is often faulty?
Yes, what happens is that after that, when the mistake that we have done is that after the elections from the polling stations, somehow the regulations provide that those ballots, you have heard of transmission and whatever. In the Act and in the regulations, they have provided that the results of the polling stations are brought to bombers to be retallied.
Yes.
And that's why the problem comes. When they begin at those funny tallying, and then they come up with the results that are not understood, they switch off TVs, they do whatever, they bring in choirs from Tanzania to sing. When what should happen is, the media should have called the election for us on that day. Then we wait for a formality that can even be delivered by email by the chairman of the IEBC.
Fair enough, Senator. As we talk of the election and the possibility of the outcomes, there is a constitutionally mandated body to oversee this election, which is IEBC. There were commissioners whose names were nominated to Parliament. There is a court process that has since stopped. As a prospective presidential candidate, do you have faith in the process that led to the nomination of those members?
I don't have any faith in that, because the whole thing is conceptually flawed. Even with the best intentions, you can never get an independent commission out of an ad hoc committee. You even saw people fighting, going to court to say they should be in the ad hoc committee, which means there's something in the ad hoc committee people are going for. You are giving people a chance of about 6 months to make a decision that's a matter of life and death for a country in terms of the elections in this country. And these are very high stakes nomination of a commission. So a lot of illicit money gets to play, a lot of vested interests come into play, and that's why even somebody went to court until the Court of Appeal, fighting that he must be on the selection panel. The ideal thing to do is this. We have got countries that have constitutions similar to what ours requires, South Africa and Brazil. Look at how they constitute their commissions. The commission is not constituted by an ad hoc committee. It's constituted by constitutional office holders. So like we could be giving a responsibility to the judge, or to the judiciary, to other institutional officers, whatever, to nominate people who can sit on the electoral body. So that if these people mess, we still know who to blame. Today, if I ask you, do you remember the panel that selected Cherera or Chebukati? We don't. Because they bear no responsibility. And that's why all our commissions have failed. Because we use ad hoc committees to do the impossible, to appoint a permanent commission. So if we want to cure that, we must go and cure that. Or we do what the old democracies do, whereby they say political parties will each nominate a player to the electoral body. It happened in Kenya once under the IPPG. That's when we had the successful 205 referendum, and we had the successful 202 elections. The commission that handled that was by political parties, and we had no dispute.
Senator, of course,